Muskie fishermen are always looking for ways to catch more fish. And in just a few minutes, Tom Neubauer and Bill Schwartz share some tips for using live suckers for muskies. Muskie anglers do most of their fishing with artificials, jerk baits, glide baits, and things like this colorful marabou bucktail. But in spring and fall, more muskies are caught on live bait, and that means suckers. There's a new rule in Wisconsin that requires the use of circle hooks or quick strike rigs when fishing for muskies with live bait longer than 8 inches. Here's Tom Neubauer and Bill Schwartz with some tips on using quick strike rigs.
Today I'm with Bill Schwartz of Slammer Lures, and we're going to be rigging suckers. Now there's a lot of different ways to rig suckers, okay, on sucker rigs for muskie fishing. And everybody has their own personal preference. Bill, you have yours.
Yeah.
And I have mine. So Bill's going to show you how he rigs a sucker, and then I'll show you how I rig a sucker. Trust me, they all work.
Actually, Tom, this is a new rig that a friend of mine, Bill Shumway up in Hayward, makes. And it's got a little spring clip. You know, for years there was always, you know, the rubber band through the nostril. Well, this spring kind of fit the one side of it through. Open it up, and pop in the other side. And what that's going to do is that'll pop free when a muskie grabs it and I set the hook. That'll pop free. Then I put a treble hook on each side. Just take off a little bit of scale, and then kind of just
yeah, easier said than done sometimes.
Some
huh?
days, yeah. Just want to get that hook right in the side there.
Yeah, just under the skin,
just
right?
under the skin, in and out. There we go. One on one side, and then we're going to try to get one on the other side as well. And what we do then is, as soon as that fish grabs a sucker, it allows me to set the hook immediately.
Right.
And then this will pop free, slide the rig into the sucker's mouth, and away we go.
And that's why we call them quick strike rigs.
Yep.
All right. Now, if I can get one out of the
Just set this
live
guy out.
well. Yeah. While you're setting that, be careful. Don't sit down. I'm opening up this live well.
Okay.
Get this guy out of here. Got it. And actually, that was rigged very quickly. Some guys used to use the rubber band and the thread.
And this kind of replaces the rubber band with the bait
same
needles.
thing,
Right.
you know.
Yep.
As long as there's some hooks, whether it be one treble hook or 2 treble hooks, as long as there's somewhere in the middle of that fish, because as we all muskie fishermen know, the muskie T-bones that sucker.
Yep.
So, and we'll get this down. Of course, never forget the clicker.
Yeah, that's but the most important thing is, as far as the equipment goes, is the rod. You want a real heavy rod, action rod, so you can set that hook. You can really drive them hooks home, exactly. And then a loud clicker.
Yeah, you got to know. Yeah, when the clicker goes, we know the fish is there.
Yep.
All right, let's hope one hits it.
All right, let's get to work then.
Now we've got our suckers out. You can explain a little bit. We've got a couple by the side
and
one on.
Fix that one here.
Oh yeah, we got weeds on it. That's one of the problems when you're fishing with suckers in the fall. The darn weeds, you know, floating weeds get hung up on the line. Sometimes travel all the way down to the sucker, and you got to check them every now and then and take them off. But you've got to float out a little ways away from the boat too, right?
Yep. Yeah, I usually like to keep a couple right by the boat here. You know, muskies are notorious for just following lures, and especially in the fall. So I like to keep a couple right by the boat, and then I, get one further back on a float. One tip I really like for fall sucker fishing is adding a little bit of a spinner to the tail of the sucker. Basically, all it is a little hook, a snap swivel, and then a spinner blade. And I kind of insert that hook right towards the tail end of the sucker. Just get into the meat. What I like having is a little bit of an extra flash back there on the tail of the sucker, and that'll oftentimes draw these muskies, into your sucker spread, and works really good, throughout the fall. So.
But muskie fishing being as it is, you can fish all day and never see a fish, and then again you can fish for 10 minutes and catch one.
Yep.
So you just never know sometimes. But in fall, the sucker bite does really good.
Well, yeah, you really want to get these fish coming towards the boat with, like I said, muskies are notorious for following, and by having suckers, right by the boat here, a lot of times these fish will follow up the artificial lure and turn off, and next thing you know, the sucker rod's going off. So, especially in the cold water.
Tell us real quick about how you make your suckers more lively.
Well, that's the key to sucker fishing. and that's just keeping them alive, and keeping them as lively as you can. And I don't know if in the camera if you can hear, but in the background, but the the live well pump's running all day long. I want to make sure I got a lot of oxygen on these suckers, and I'll actually go to the local pet store and buy the tablets for aeration, and I'll put a handful of those in. I want to OD them on oxygen and keep those suckers really lively. I don't want to use a sucker that just is laying there and not not lively at all. I mean, I want the one that it's hard for me to catch in the sucker tank, and those are the ones that are swimming around down there and real active and getting the muskie's attention.